This weekend, U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel announced that the U.S. would be keeping in Afghanistan an additional 1,000 troops, bringing the total U.S. contribution to 10,800 forces. The total size of the mission in Afghanistan for post-2014 is not changing. It's still 12,000 to 12,800 forces. These 1,000 additional troops will be a stopgap measure while coalition partners finalize their plans. Their plans were delayed because the signing of the NATO Status of Forces Agreement was delayed. It was expected for 2013, but wasn't actually signed until the inauguration of a new president in September of this year. The U.S. moved forward with its plans for the post-2014 mission in May, after both of the leading contenders expressed their support for their document and their intent to sign it. The first question we should be asking is whether these additional 1,000 troops matter. And they do. While we've had over 100,000 troops in country in the past few years, these were to provide security for Afghanistan. These 1,000 forces are part of a train, advise, and assist mission that focuses on things like programming, like budget execution, like strategic communications and logistics that are necessary for the Afghan state and for its security forces to function. They are not there to fight skirmishes with the Taliban. And thus training over the course of a year for these individuals could have a lasting impact. The second question that people are asking is, why is President Obama expanding the mission in Afghanistan? He's been very adamant in the past that the U.S. will draw down its contribution to Afghanistan. I think there's two key factors that led to this decision. The first is the rapid destabilization of Iraq. We've seen how quickly things can go wrong. The second is the election of President Ghani, who's been very pro-Western since his inauguration and actively asking for more support. This is in direct contrast to President Karzai, who was blaming the West for Afghanistan's problems by the end of his term. What does this mean for Australia? Well, Australia hasn't announced its final numbers for the post-2014 mission. This is in direct comparison to its very detailed explanation of its contribution in Iraq. So once the numbers are finalized, we should expect to hear them from the Abbott government. What we do know about the Australian contribution to the Afghanistan mission is that it should be between 100 and 400 forces. This is what was said by the Australian ambassador to Afghanistan at the end of 2013. Previous prime ministers have put the number at up to 400. There's currently just over 250 Australian soldiers in Afghanistan. So what we can expect right now is that the U.S. is pushing the Abbott government to come up with a final number.